Welcome to LOTC Presents Black Glove Mysteries, where every other Friday we will take you on a journey through Italian cinema, specifically giallo, but we reserve the right to take other avenues such as polizieschi, spaghetti westerns, Euro crime films. Either way, you will hear and now see us talk Italian cinema. This is episode 452, double 74. I'm your host, GregaMortis, along with Ian Irza. What's up, Ian?
Is she a good lay? I'll find that out on my own. I'll find out right now.
And you know that has to be from, well, I don't know. It could have been from either movie we're reviewing tonight, but we're super excited tonight. We're back, and if you're new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. If you're watching us on YouTube, welcome as well. We are going to be covering two films tonight. One from the Forgotten Gialli series from Vinegar Syndrome Volume 4, which is going to be the Sister of Ursla. The Sister of Ursla. We both have the Blu-ray from the Forgotten Gialli series, Volume 4, which is a great set, by the way. This one, I'm going to be honest, Ian, I think this is the best set to date that I have seen. I have not seen all four.
It's a good one.
This has been my favorite so far, from start to finish. But we're doing the Sister of Ursla. And then we're also doing one that Ian recommended. I had never heard of, but we picked it up on the $2.99 sale, Ian. Mad Dog Killer. This is a Blue Underground DVD release. And this was on was that on the MVD sale?
I think it was, yeah.
I believe it was. They had this on their sale, and it was like $2.99 brand new. I was like, shit. Yeah. Waiting for a Blu-ray, Ian. I think this one should get a good Blu-ray, right?
It did get one from 88 Films at one point, and it must have sold out real quick because it is really hard to find. Yeah, I think this one kind of has Cauldron Films written all over it in terms of who I think might release it eventually.
I can see Cauldron because the releases they got, man, it'd go good with that American Rickshaw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they did one of Convoy Busters, and that only had a DVD for the longest time. So I really wouldn't be surprised if this was them when it comes out. Although who knows, maybe 88 Films will do a more updated release. Sometimes they do that with some of their stuff. So who knows, maybe they'll do a better one like a 4K or something, which would be awesome.
Is this still, you think, under Blue Underground's umbrella? Because I'm just wondering.
I am not sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously 88 Films released that Blu-ray, but that could have just been a United Kingdom thing for all I know. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, either way, man, I'd love to see something a little bigger on this one, but we'll see. We'll talk about this movie here shortly. But both these films, Ian, I had never seen, so these are all first-time watches for me, and I cannot wait to break down and get into these on our reviews here as I get my letterbox pulled up there. Boom. So once again, we're going to be doing Mad Dog Killer. This is also called Beast with a Gun from 1977, and then 1978's The Sister of Ursla. We'll get into both of those. But Ian, recently let me go ahead and get the Black Friday sale, pre-Black Friday sale out of the way. I want to talk about that for a moment. Vinegar Syndrome, as you're watching this, it's already over, so you can't, sorry. But Vinegar Syndrome held their pre-Black Friday sale for 4 days, and they had some pre-sale type stuff, some releases that we got our hands on, man. So I'm super excited. I know, Ian, you picked up a couple that did you want to go ahead and mention what you had picked up?
Well, the Bloodstained Italy, for one. I'm trying to remember what else I picked up. One of those, I'm having one of those moments. But the Bloodstained Italy was definitely part of it. So,
yeah, I picked up Bloodstained Italy, but I also picked up the Pinky line, which is their Sackett of the Pink line that they've got on their sister label. I did pick up the Sato Films Volume 2. So I already owned the Volume 1. Now I got Volume 2. So I'm super excited once it releases. It's a pre-order. And then I also picked up the Shaw Brothers. It's called Shaw Shock, which I believe this is like a Volume 2, I think. There was like a Volume 1 some time ago or something. I'm new to that. But I went ahead and picked that one up, as well as a couple Connie releases. So a couple Philippine, Hong Kong releases that I'm looking forward to. I think one of them's called Freeze, and I can't remember what the other one is, Mad Love or something. But anyways, once I get those, I'll do a video right here so you guys can see it and see what we got. But I'm excited, man. We got we got Black Friday coming up, Ian.
Yeah, I know. I got the horrible Dr. Hitchcock as well, the Barbara Steele movie
Oh,
as well. Yeah.
that's awesome, bro. That is awesome. That looks so fun. I did not pick that up, but man, that looks like a fun film.
I just like those 60s gothic Italian horror films. That one is, I think, is Riccardo Freda directed it.
Mm.
I'm trying to see if I can find my other order here. But hold on a minute. I'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at that release, man, I saw it and I was like, dude, that would be so fun to have. And then I know not only through Vinegar, but who was it just released? Severin. Severin just released the another Christopher Lee collection.
Yeah.
And I almost pulled the trigger on that one too, but what's that, like I think it's like $139, $159, but
yeah.
totally worth it.
Delirium Photos of Joya. That was the other one I picked up, the
right.
4K of Delirium. Yeah.
That's right.
Which I do already own the Blu-ray, but that one has some significant features on it, so I wanted to upgrade it.
Yeah.
I don't do that very often, but for that one I decided to.
Well, when you're buying stuff and you're wanting to upgrade, or not only just upgrade, but you're just buying stuff and you're like, okay, I've got this DVD or I've got this Blu-ray. If it's a movie that you really enjoy, man, sometimes you just got to pull the extra trigger, man, and say, okay, I'll do it. And I've kind of been in that boat too. But yeah, I was looking at my other order. So yeah, maybe it's Love is the Connie. Maybe it's Love and Freeze Me. That's the other two that I'd picked up, which are a Connie release, which are the Connies are a sister label of Vinegar Syndrome, and it's more like a Philippine release, Philippine films. Looking forward to it, man. They look more on the more erotic side.
I know our buddy Dave Parker is a big fan of those Sato films as well.
Yeah, he's the reason, honestly, he's the reason I picked up Volume 1. He was talking about it, and as soon as they released it, I said, I got to have it. So I haven't even cracked the seal on it yet, man, but that's that Sato, and I got to open it up, man. It's cool. I like the pink, I guess, for the pink line, but having Volume 2, too, so I can't wait to get into these, man, for sure.
So those are like highly controversial films, and pink meaning like the rating or whatever, right? I think
it's more their erotic. It's the
right.
Hong Kong erotic side of film. So
yeah,
definitely something that I cannot wait to get into. But we'll do some reviews of those later on down the road here on YouTube if I do it as a single or whatever we do. But we are going to be talking tonight once again with these two films, Mad Dog Killer, aka Beast with a Gun, as well as Sister of Ursla. And I think without further ado, Ian, let's go ahead and jump right into it. We'll do it chronologically as we typically like to do, and that's with 1977 with Beast with a Gun. And I'll give it over to you, Ian. What you got for a plot synopsis?
Okay, so this is taken from Italian crime filmography, 1968 to 1980 by Roberto Curti.
Yes. Nice.
So, a cruel murderer, Nani Vitali, escapes from jail with 3 accomplices, vainly chased by Commissioner Giulio Santini, who only succeeds in killing the gang's driver. Vitali retaliates by brutally murdering a police informant, then raping and abducting the latter's lover, Juliana. The woman, however, reveals to Santini that Vitali is going to use her in a bank robbery. The commissioner then sets a trap on Vitali, but again only manages to capture the bandits' accomplices. After an unsuccessful attempt at killing Juliana, Vitali kidnaps Santini's elderly father and sister with the help of a young robber.
And that's your plot. It's not a very thick plot, I'll be honest. The story's fairly simple, but it's an enjoyable film. Like I said, this is first time viewing. Helmut Berger playing Nani, Nani Vitali?
Yeah.
He is a bastard, dude. Like, man, he is one of the most villainous of villains I've seen, dude. Like,
he brings like a David Hess level of of villainy to this, I would say.
Yeah, I don't want to call him a B David Hess, but David Hess was he is my favorite villain in any of those genres. So for me, he would be like a B David Hess, but he's right there, man. He is a bastard, dude. He has no problem raping, killing, maiming, or anything. He's just that kind of guy. And I liked him, man. I thought Helmut really brought it in this movie, man. I've not seen him in many others, but this one, he really brought the pain in it, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I've wanted to cover this movie for years because I wanted you to see like just his level of villainy in this, like to just say that it's on the level with David Hess or on the level of Tomas Milian and Almost Human. It's kind of a similar performance. There's such a to me though, what's interesting is he weirdly comes across somewhat likable, and I don't know what it is. It's one of those things where there's such a magnetism to him, and the fact that there's that one scene with his sister that kind of humanizes him in a way.
Mm.
There's something to that where it's like I kind of find him weirdly likable. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but it's just the way it goes for me. But yeah, he's so like any chance he gets to be worse, like you don't see it coming almost every time. Like the part when they go to that gas station, you just think, oh, they're gonna get gas and go. No,
Yeah.
they proceed to assault both of the gas, the people at the gas station before they go, and then what they do to that informer where they put him in quicklime or whatever is just like that is really brutal. And then
Brutal.
you see him beating the hell out of him before they even do that. Then he rapes Marissa Mel, more than once, really.
Mhm.
And then you see him in disguise, and then you see him kill a couple of people during this robbery. Like he's up, he keeps upping the ante and crossing the line even more as he goes along. Um, and there are lines that I remember, like that line I said in my opening.
Yeah.
I remember, I love the part. It's funny as me as it is. It's also funny the part when he keeps hitting Marissa Mel with the newspaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like read the paper.
Yeah.
I always love that scene. And then the part at the end where he's when he's abducted the the little sister of Santini. He's like, "Come on out, or I'll cut off her tits." And then he does start doing that as well.
Yeah.
Which he's just every little thing he can do. But there are lines and moments from him that I just remember so much in this movie. And like I said, that one scene with his sister kind of humanizes him a little bit.
Mhm.
At one point, I would have loved this. There was supposed to be a sequel where where he has to get revenge on someone for killing his sister, and he actually has to team up with Santini in the sequel,
Oh
which
man.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That never happened because we never get sequels to these movies, unfortunately. But that would have been a pretty good sequel, seeing Helmut Berger and Richard Harrison again. And Richard Harrison, who to me, he is part of one of my weaknesses of this movie. Even though I kind of like him, I think he is basically a C plus choice for this film compared to someone like a Maurizio Merli or a Franco Nero, who probably was what they had in mind to play this part. Um, but he's supposedly a really nice guy in real life, and he's very accessible to interview and everything like that. But I do think him as this sort of dirty Harry type cop, if that's the best choice you can get, I do think he does a good job with what he's given for the part. Apparently, according to Mike Malloy, who made the Eurocrime documentary, he gave me this information. He said it's from the outtakes of the Eurocrime documentary. He said that originally, when they started the film, it was supposed to be more about the cop, and then it became more about the criminal over time. It actually is kind of similar to Almost Human in that way. Because that movie is much more about the criminal than it is the cop. It's almost like the cop is kind of in the background where the movie is more about the criminal.
Hmm.
So that was one thing. But I think Richard Harrison does the best he can. Marissa Mel is always a great screen presence, but really it is Helmut Berger that steals the show in this movie as a sort of over the top, but also delightfully evil villain.
Mhm. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he eats up a lot of the screen time too. So naturally, you know, with that much time on screen, you got to either like or dislike him, and I definitely liked him. I think one of the funniest scenes for me was when he was with his sister, and he comes out and he's got the beard, the fake beard, mustache, and all this stuff on. And I'm laughing, and he's like, or I mean, he was with Marissa, and he's like saying, they'll never recognize me in this. And I'm like, dude, you look horrible, man. You look like something out of a cheap costume ball or something. Like, no, yeah, they're going to totally know you're not. That's not a real beard, bro. But to him, he's thought, oh, they'll never find me in this getup. I thought that was hilarious, man. And I did love Marissa Mel playing Giovanni Caroli. I thought she was amazing. She looks beautiful, and I liked her vulnerability in the movie. I like how she was able to clearly play victim because, being raped in such a horrific way, which, this rape was a pretty horrific rape. And then to see her having to kind of play a part for him, as he takes her along. And I thought her vulnerability, her, being scared came across on screen really well, man. I bought into it. So I thought that was really well. I did like Richard Harris, and I agree with you though that I think a Franco Nero would have did a lot more justice in this movie. But with that said, he's serviceable. He's okay enough as the commissioner. Overall, man, I thought the chase sequence. I mean, we get that chase sequence in the beginning. Not one of the best ones, but it was okay, and I enjoyed that moment. I liked the scene where they take the one guy out and they dig the hole. Which I'm looking at this hole they dug, and the hole's only like 2 foot deep. I'm like, bro, if you're trying to bury this guy, you're not going to do a very good job with it, dude. But then again, they pull what was it, lime or whatever you say. I mean, it's basically like acid's what it looked like. I mean, they're basically melting this dude alive, which is horrific. And but I'm watching. I told Fur, I was like, if you look at Helmet Burger, he's not a very big statured person.
No,
he's an average sized guy that. I told her, I was like, there's 3 guys there, and they're following him around like a wounded puppy. I said, any one of those 3 could have jumped on this dude and took him down. I don't like, why are you going to let him beat you and bully you around? Like, I never get that. I'm not, whatever. But anyways, the movie was fun. It's a mean movie. It's not an enjoyable movie. A lot of the movie, there's some rapes and some different things going on in it. But as a movie, I had fun watching this one. I like the revenge aspect and the different things that come along with it. Overall, man, it's pretty good. I like the face squib shot that they did when they were chasing the one guy. They did a cool squib shot there. I thought was pretty good. So overall, man, it's a fun movie to watch, dude.
yeah, and I love the slow motion part with the cops too, where they kill the cops. That's an awesome scene.
Yeah.
The roadblock scene where he just shoots at the roadblock and then just plows right through it real quick. That's an awesome sequence as well. Apparently, this is the other thing I got from Aloy. Apparently, Helmet Burger at the end of the movie wanted to use a real knife in their fight scene, which normally would be dicey enough, but apparently Helmet Burger was under the influence of several substances at the time, which would have made it even like more dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'll do Mike a favor too. So his Eurocrime documentary is on Tubi. It is like an all-encompassing documentary of the Eurocrime genre. Like as much as you would want to know about it is in there. There's a lot of really good interviews in there, and his YouTube channel is tough. I think his handle is Tough and Gritty is the handle for it. And he sometimes will post, he usually does like video essays, and he'll post some of the special features to Blu-rays that he does as well on there. So I told him I would do that for the show, and I was planning to do it anyway. So yeah.
What's the name of the documentary?
It's just called Eurocrime. It's like Eurocrime, and then there's a subtitle to it, like the genre something or other. But you can find it if you just type in Eurocrime.
All right, cool. Write those down, man. It's cool. I'll definitely check those out, man. I was a little, I wish that where did I do it? Oh, sorry. I wish the DVD that we own, though, there's nothing on here. There's theatrical trailer. I was really, hoping that we could get a release, and hopefully we will. And you said there might have been a Blu-ray, and maybe there was some stuff on that one. I hope that somebody gets this and really breaks it down with some features. I don't know how much they can get now this many years later, but if they can get us something, some more substance, that would be cool, man, because I'd love to know some of the more ins and outs of it. And once again, I mean, when you get into this movie, man, I was looking at the musical score of this one was really strong. Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah, it sounds like a Pink Floyd album, honestly. It really does. Yeah, with like the saxophone, and at the end you got the electric guitar, and you got that same theme that sort of goes along the whole movie with different instrumentals to it. I really enjoy the score in this one by Umberto Smalia, I think is his name.
Yes.
Yep.
What I thought too, like even during the tough sequences, the rape sequences, everything, the music just really, it's moody. It's a very moody score, and I liked it. I was really enjoying the score. And the cinematography is really good in this one. The action sequences are good. I thought the choreography of the fight sequences were decent. It's one of those typical Italian, for whatever reason, Italian cinema, you get a lot of slaps. There's a lot of face backhands, and I guess it's easy to do a face slap and a back slap, but that's what you get that in a lot of Italian cinema, man. But whatever, some karate chop stuff. but Helmet Burger just steals this one. It's just a Helmet Burger movie, man. And I'm like, bro. Now that you talked about a sequel, I was like, dang, dude, I would have liked to see a sequel in this one. Now that you mentioned it, dude, that would have been awesome. Too bad it didn't happen, man, and way beyond time being able to do it now. But yeah,
I have some more information about this Helmet Berger and
sure.
what he was going through at the time of this movie, from the Italian crime filmography book. It says Beast with a Gun heavily relies on its titular villain, as played by the Austrian actor whose career was rapidly going downhill in those days. After Luchino Visconti's death, Berger, who had been the director's lover for years in an almost marriage-like relationship, became desperate, not knowing what to do with his professional and personal life. This was made worse by the fact that Visconti did not make a testament during his lifetime. So Berger did not inherit anything from the director's estate, and the Visconti family dropped him after the funeral. The identification between the real-life criminal this film is based on, Valenskazka, and Berger goes beyond the debatable physical resemblance on the bandit's deeds as portrayed unfaithfully on screen. In Berger's case, so intense that in Berger's stare, so intense that it borders on mental dissociation, as one critic defined it. It's for and through Helmet Berger that Beast with a Gun finds its reason to exist as a movie, in the way it sadistically soils Visconti's Ludwig, having him bare his ass and copulate on screen with his then real life lover Marissa Mel in the film's extended rape set piece. In Grieco's film, Berger looks like an evil king surrounded by a court of lowlifes, including such familiar faces as Nello Pazzafini and Richard Harrison.
Wow. What do you think now? This is Sergio Greco, and this was his last feature film. He passed away in 1982. Have you seen any other movies by Sergio?
Not that I know of. I wonder if he was big in the peplum genre or something. Let me see if I can look. I did want to note too, in this movie, we've also got Nello Pazzafini playing one of his goons, and he's been in like a ton of movies.
Mm,
We've seen him in several. He's got a really rough look to him and a mustache. He's a really good actor. Um, so Sergio Grieco,
yeah.
I have not. It looks like he was really big in the sort of 007 knockoffs, like the Euro spy film genre.
Right.
Mission Bloody Mary was a film he made. Violence for Kicks, that actually is a Eurocrime movie. From the Orient with Fury, that's definitely a Euro spy film. So Where the Bullets Fly, that might be another Eurocrime. He did some peplum films. Caesar Against the Pirates, Slave of Rome, that's another one he did in the early 60s. So he's done some stuff. He's directed 37 films, so he did have a career,
Yeah.
pretty prolific career there.
Yeah, definitely. I like the direction of this film. I like, where it went. We just lost Helmet Berger just a couple years ago. So I mean, he had a pretty long life there. And do we have anybody in our Hall of Fame, or do we have anybody that we can add to our All Stars?
So we got, I think Helmet Berger officially becomes a superstar because of this, because he was in the Bloodstained Butterfly and Dorian Gray that we've covered. And we're not done with Helmet Berger. We're gonna, there'll probably be at least one or two more films that we cover with him. If not more, if we ever do end up branching out into some of those Italian art house films, he's in a ton of those, some of those Visconti films. Richard Harrison, I believe this is the first film we covered with him. Marissa Mel, we have done 7 Bloodstained Orchids. That makes her an all-star.
Okay.
Enzio Marasco, I think he's in a few films. I'll look at that in a sec because he's not listed on the Letterboxd cast, but he is in this movie because he plays the guy that they beat up and cover in
Yeah.
Quicklime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Nello Pazzaffini, Seven Bloodstained Orchids, Endgame, Rulers of the City, Mad Dog Killer. So that makes him officially Hall of Famer, and we're not even done with him. He's going to be in a ton more
Yeah.
stuff. He is just one of those faces that turns up a lot. I got to look. Ezio, it's just Ezio Morasco. Yeah. Or Ezio Morano, sorry.
Yeah.
Lizard in a woman's skin and Black Belly of the Tarantula. So that makes him a superstar. I recognize his face from those films too.
Yeah.
I don't remember his exact role, but I do remember him from those
Sure.
films.
Absolutely. Cool, man. We got what do you got on dubbing or anything on this one?
I do have a few. So we go back to
I got you going everywhere.
yeah, no, it's okay. I just needed to look at the character names again to get things right. Helmut Berger as Nani Vitali is dubbed by Frank von Kugelen, who dubbed Tomas Milian in a ton of his roles. Like he's a familiar voice
Mhm.
in the English dubs. Marissa Mel playing Juliana is dubbed by Carolyn DeFonseca, again another familiar voice. Robert Spafford is dubbing Nello Pazzaffini as Pietro, and I gotta find if I can find the young kid. I can't remember his character name.
Mhm. I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Well, the one who's like his henchman towards the end, he's dubbed by Stephen Lowoto. I just can't remember the character's name. But he's the one who helps Nani at the end of the movie. He's like, "Oh, you're my hero, and I idolize you." That kid,
Yeah.
who ends up shooting Santini's father a few times. Yep.
Nice. 94 minutes long, this movie, and this one shot in Italy. It was shot in a few well, I think it was specifically in Italy. I don't think it was shot anywhere else that I'm aware of. I don't know if you have anything else on that. To me, I think it was just Italy. You know how sometimes they'll branch off and have a couple spots, and I'm pretty sure it was just Italy. Beautiful set, man. This is outside. That scene. There's a scene early on when they're being chased by the police, and they get another getaway car, and they pull up, and they're like, he's like, "I want that car," and they pull him
Yeah.
over, and I'm like, okay, first of all, he could have just took the car, right? Well, no, he's got to fill the girl up. You know, he's got to do something. Like, you knew he was a bastard right away after that. And then they take the car and drive off. And I'm like, I kind of like the other car more than I like that one, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, he just needed a getaway car. And then they took the keys. So they didn't kill the two. They didn't kill the young couple, but they go to get into the car because they're going to try to leave. And took the keys. Dang. You're stuck on this beautiful side of the road with a beautiful ocean side beside you. But good sets, man. I love it. I love it. Love it. I wonder where that rock quarry was at. That was kind of a cool little spot. Well, you could hide a lot of bodies out there.
Yeah.
What else you got on Beast with a Gun?
Not too much I can think of other than the fact that it appears in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. There's that one scene where Bridget Fonda is watching television, and it's on the TV screen, and Samuel L. Jackson has that moment where he's like, "Is that Rucker Hauer?" And then she's like, "No, it's Helmut Berger."
Right.
And it's that scene where Helmut Berger is just walking towards Marissa Mel all slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a fun little in joke for Tarantino to have it in one of his movies.
Nice. So you had to be a big fan for sure.
Mm.
I mean, how can you not be a fan of this one, man? This is, even though there again, I do not like rape in films, but it's definitely in this film. And, but I do like some of the revenge side that she gets in this one too. So, well, if you're ready, let's pass our ratings around. Where you come in a rating for this one?
8.
Okay. 8. And I'm at a 7.5. And I can't wait to watch this one again. I actually am looking forward to seeing this one more time. I want to definitely check it out. And, now I know what happens through it, and then I can concentrate a little more. I'm hoping, man, somebody gets us a Blu-ray 4K release or something of this. I don't have to have 4K, but I'd definitely like to have Blu-ray. And now I'm kind of eager. I'm anxious, Ian, that maybe Cauldron would be one to pick this up. Whoever picks it up, Severn, whoever, will be on board for it for sure. So, There you go. That is our first movie down. And now we're going to get to our last feature review tonight. And after that, we got calls. We got 3 or 4 calls to get to as well, Ian. We're going to do the Sister of Ursla. And once again, that is in part of that Forgotten Gialli series, Volume 4 set. So, Sister of Ursla, what you got, Ian, for a plot synopsis?
I gotta find it. Hold on a second.
That's fine.
I think
As you're getting that, I'll show. I think I can't show you the one behind here, but there's the inside cover. Yeah, there's a little bit of nudity on the. I can't show you on the other side because we don't want to get in too much trouble over here. But and look how beautiful.
there we go.
Gialli series. Look at this. Look how beautiful that set is.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. All right, what you got there, buddy?
So taken from Troy Howarth's So Deadly, So Perverse, Volume 2.
Shout out to Troy Howarth. What's up, my friend?
Yes. Ursula and Dagmar are left a sizable inheritance when their father dies. They set out to find their estranged mother and cut her in on the inheritance and stop at a luxurious hotel by the sea along the way. While there, a maniac begins killing off some of the guests. Ursula, who possesses psychic abilities, is convinced that she is going to be the next victim. ...
The Sister of Ursla, first time viewing, and this one is directed by Enzo Milioni. And Enzo Milioni passed away back in 2017, I believe it was. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it was 2017 that he passed. Yeah, born in 1934. I believe this is first time viewing of me of anything of his. I don't recall any other thing that I've seen of him.
The reason why I decided to pair these two films together is because he is either considered, depending on the source, he's either considered a co-director or a co-writer on Beast with a Gun. So it depends on which one is accurate. Like I think on IMDb he's considered a co-writer, on Letterboxd he's considered a co-director. So I guess it depends on the source, but either way, he had something to do with both these movies, and he directed this one.
Nice. Well, in this one, we got the two sisters. We got Dagmar Bine, played by Stefania Diamaro, and then you got Ursula Bine, played by Barbara Magnolfi. Both very attractive young ladies, and they come into this hotel resort or whatever you want to call it, and you can tell, they didn't have any kind of reservations or anything. And this is a resort where you got to have reservations, yada yada. They weren't going to see her. They found out who they were, and they just rolled the red carpet out for them, because we find out through the movie that the mother was a famous, I think she was a famous actress or something, and the father was a singer or a piano player or something, and they're of money. The mom had disappeared or ran off or whatever. The father had died and left a inheritance and everything, and they're kind of living off of that. We noticed right away, Ian, that Ursula has some issues. She's got something she's a little off mentally. Like, I don't know if she's seeing visions. I don't know what's going on, but she's very, very emotional. She's very standoffish. Don't want to be anywhere. Leave her alone. Dagmar's there. She's trying to, have fun and do these different things. They're on the search for the mom, I believe it was. But anyways, we're introduced to Filippo Andre, played by Mark Perrell. He's the young stud in the movie, I guess you'll call him. Is what we'll call him in this one. We're introduced to him in the movie, and he's got a thing for Stella Shining, who is the singer of the nightclub where the hotel resort's at. She's played by Yvonne Harlow, young blonde actress, attractive actress, and he's got a thing for her. He's obsessed with her through this thing, and very jealous and all these stuff, and they're having relations. So we got that scenario going on. We got heroin addictions going on in this movie. We've got premonitions and visions going on in this movie. We got what all do we have? We got affairs going on. We've got
with the hotel owner and his wife. Yeah, that was another subplot.
There is a lot of subplots going on in this movie that sometimes it's a little hard to keep up with what exactly is going on. And even halfway through this movie, and it switches gears. Something happens, and all of a sudden we just almost drop something and go totally into something different. It was weird. Threw me off a little bit, but Vanny Matarasi, who plays Roberto Deller, he was the hotel manager. I really liked Vanny. I liked his character. I liked the hotel owner. Was he a little on the shady side, or was he just a typical hotel owner or whatever? You just got to watch and see. But I really enjoyed his character in this movie, and I liked Dagmar. I thought Dagmar was fun in this movie. And Ursula is so creepy. She has something with her eyes, man. She's always doing her eyes. And I'll get into a couple things that I was watching in the one of the interviews they did on the Blu-ray release of this. But as a cast, I thought there's a lot of characters going on. We have one of the characters that and that's Stella Shining, is going to pick up perfume a lot, which we end up finding out what's in the perfume, right? In there might be a little bit of shadiness going on with these perfume bottles she's picking up. And then we got that. But I think one thing I wanted to get to, Ian, in this one was the music. Now, I did really enjoy the musical notes in this one. The score was really strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I liked it as well.
Mm-hmm. And that one was done, I had it pulled up, was Mimi Uva. Mimi Uva did the composing of this one, and I thought it was really good. They had this one specific song that they did for the movie called Eyes, and there's this weird scene where they go to see Stella for the first time, or Sylvia Shining. They go to see her perform, and she's singing this song, Eyes. Beautiful song. I loved it. I thought it was really good, and they play it throughout the movie. This movie was originally going to be called The Eyes, is what the name of this movie originally was going to be called. That's what it was slated to be. But there was a movie by John Carpenter called The Eyes of Laura Mars. So they kind of changed and made it the Sister of Ursla. There's a little side note.
Yeah, you're thinking of Someone's Watching Me, I think. Eyes of Laura Mars was...
Oh, yeah. Not John Carpenter, but the eyes. It was The Eyes of Laura Mars. I'm sorry, not John Carpenter. Totally off. He's Someone Watching Me. But the movie The Eyes of Laura Mars was out, so they changed the name.
Yeah, that was Irvin Kershner directed The Eyes of Laura Mars.
Great movie. I love that film.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah.
Really love that movie. But we saw this, how it plays out. And I like some of the scenes, and some of the scenes I'm a little confused, but overall, I wasn't disappointed with this movie at all. I actually thought it was a pretty darn good movie. It was confusing from time to time. Sometimes I'm like scratching my head. What are we doing? Are we going to do a movie that's, are we doing something about a heroin overdose thing, drug lord going on? Or are we going to do a supernatural film? I like the kills in these things. I like how the killer is basically, we see the eyes of the killer. They'll focus in, and then we see a killer coming at him with a shadowed dong, I'll call it. You just see a shadow, and it looks like a dong coming at him. And all the girls are always like, oh. Most girls are probably like, hey, but, all these girls are like, oh. And they're dying by dongage. I should say vulgar dongage. There's also some weird, like, X-rated footage in this movie toward the end of this movie. There's some it's really,
and that was, it's yet another like slaughter hotel where they were like, let's insert as much hardcore stuff as we can into this. And I don't know, because to me it didn't really add a whole lot to the movie. Like, especially when that one couple that's supposed to be underage, by the way. I don't think the actors were underage, but the characters are, and you see them doing it, and it's like, we don't know these people at all. Like, why is this in the movie other than just that? And I think one aspect of this film I was a little disappointed in. I mean, I like the whole thing, the killer and just showing their eyes, but I was disappointed in the fact that, like, there are a lot of kills where the film just cuts away. Like, it literally just cuts away before you see anything at all. Like, not even a confirmation of a kill, regardless of how bloody or gory it gets. And I wish that they would have shown more. They're not afraid to show the sex and the nudity. So what's wrong with showing us little kills? Maybe they didn't have the budget for it. I don't know. One thing I did like, and you talking about the film has made me think a little bit more about how there were some interesting subplots. There was some interesting drama. There was some interesting attempts at red herrings, even though I got to be honest, I thought who it ended up being kind of made me feel like the whole thing was obvious from the beginning in a
Yeah,
way. I think I kind of wish the killer were someone else because the misdirection could have been more, a little bit better. But
100%.
one thing I liked about this movie a lot was the Salerno locations. I thought the Salerno locations were great. That was
Beautiful.
almost like a character on its own because you don't see this area very often in these films. So you could interpret it, there almost was like a supernatural element just because of where it was set. Like you don't know what you're going to see next with these locations. Something involving Mark Perrell's character toward the end really surprised me, pleasantly surprised me in a good way.
Yeah.
Um, I will say this: I took a note at one point when Mark Perrell is doing drugs. I said, "Mark Perrell is doing drugs. How ironic!" Because Mark Perrell had a really bad drug problem in
Yeah.
real life and ended up dying because of it. He
Mhm.
was actually with Barbara Magnolfi at the time of filming this, and they were together from like 1977 until his death in 1983.
Mhm.
Um, I'm interested to see what a rewatch does with this for me because I feel like some of the narratives and some of the subplots will gel together a little bit better.
Yeah.
It just happens to be that there were some things that I was disappointed in. There were certain things that I liked. And I kind of wish the film focused more on Ursula's psychological issues. I think if this film had focused more on that and less on some of the other stuff, I think it may have been a little bit more interesting. Not that it doesn't focus on it, but I think that should have been more so the main focus of the film. And
Yeah.
you could have had like these nightmares that she keeps. You don't see any of her nightmares. I wish you could have seen what she was seeing.
Yeah, that was one thing that I would have loved too. We got 8 total deaths in this, 6 women, 2 men in this one. And those visions, they mention them through the movie, and it's like, she has these dreams or she has these visions, whatever you want to call them, and things happen the way that she sees them to an extent. So I would have rather they showed more of that. Now, I will say that watching the on the Blu-ray itself, there is a archival interview with the director in this one that I thought was pretty interesting. It's 20 some minutes long, and they interviewed Enzo Miliani. And first thing that really struck me was the fact that he was totally against the X-rated parts of this movie, and they were not something that he did. They inserted some of these things in there. He was upset. Barbara Magnifoli was upset that they went that route with this movie. And there was even mention that there was some pornographic images put in this movie, and he went to see it. He's like, the director's like, I got to see this, what's going on. And it's the scene where Ursula was at the one glass window pane, and she's seeing something about her father having sex with somebody, right? He says they just randomly put 2 people having sex in the and you're watching it through the window as if she was watching it. And he said it was stupid. Like he was so upset. He was like, it makes no sense. This is not the type movie this is supposed to be. So all these more X-rated, I'll call them, inserts that's put in this movie was not what he wanted. He's totally against pornographic, imagery, especially in these movies. So they did it, I guess, because they wanted, to get whatever viewings or whatever. But it did throw off a little bit. It does, you went from having like what I would call soft, nudity to where you had like full, you're like, what in the world's going on here? You're like, wait, this is a little off putting. But it is what it is in this movie. What you were talking about with Barbara and Mark, I thought that was ironic. And listen to Enzo talk about it. You could see the pain. Like he loved Barbara when he first met her. She came in and read. He's like, she's the girl. Like he loved her eyes. He loved everything about her.
She
And
has really beautiful eyes, I
yeah,
will say.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he says she was easy to direct, and she was just an amazing actress, right? And she's the one that brought Mark in on this. And it was really quick that he found out Mark was, a junkie. And he's like, there was moments where they would go to filming and he would make excuses up because he would go get his drugs or do whatever. But then he would come back and he would do his parts and be fine. So he would make excuses up, oh, he had to go see his family or he had to go do this. But that's why he was getting high. So after the filming, he mentioned that, through Barbara and different ones, they were able to get him sober. They were able to get Mark, cleaned up. He had turned his life around, and Enzio and Barbara and Mark had become real close. But Mark needed money, and they ended up getting some commercial gigs in Monaco or Morocco. I mean, in Morocco, and he said Morocco's easy to find drugs anywhere, and he ended up getting hooked on drugs again, and that's where he ended up dying, was in Morocco during that spell after he'd sobered up. So shame. He could have probably had a really good career. But back to the movie, though, I just want to throw a few of those out. That was in the interviews. That was really awesome. Imagery-wise in this one, I loved the sequences, Ian, with the killer. I liked how you would see that little shadow coming, and it would be the equivalent of seeing something like this coming in a shadow form. You're like, I knew right away, man. I was like, I kept telling Pearl, I didn't know who the killer was at first. It took me a minute, but I knew what the killing utensil was because I'd seen it in a bedroom. And I'm like, that's it, Ian. That is definitely it. So that didn't surprise me, but it was just the surprise of who it was. It was kind of obvious, but not obvious. What did you think of? What did you think of the acting of the characters themselves? What did you think of the cast?
I actually thought the acting was really good in this. I thought specifically the guy who played Roberto, I thought was really good. I thought both the sisters were good. I like Mark Perel pretty much in anything he does. So I thought that was one of the stronger aspects of the movie.
Absolutely. And you were talking about the two that were the young couple. They were supposed to be 16 and 17.
Well, earlier, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. You were talking about them earlier and that, and I looked them up. They're known as the young fiancés, but they don't have the dates that they were born. So I'm looking at them like,
I'm sure they were older than
they were definitely older. They were definitely of age. So don't think it was underage stuff going on. They were definitely of age, but I thought it was a little odd that they're saying, oh, they're 16, 17. Next thing you know, they're having a sex scene. Like,
right. Right. You probably wouldn't do that in a movie nowadays.
I don't need to know this. But did you like the sequences of the kills, though? Like the aftermath? I totally 100%.
The aftermaths were pretty brutal. Mm-hmm. Yes, I will say that. They were good. You have your full on.
They should have showed something. Not that you would have to see the penetration. I'm not saying
right,
but I would have liked to seen more of the kill itself instead of them giving a face like, ah, and then we're gone. That seemed a little cheap on it. So other than that, though, music was great. I thought the musical score was really good. I enjoyed that. I did enjoy the song that they used throughout and they changed it sometimes. Sometimes it was with just piano. Sometimes it was instruments. It was different versions of it, which I thought was really cool. I like the aspect that Ursula's father played piano, like he was a musician, and there's even mention when Dagmar said that she would spend like 3 hours listening to her dad play and never get tired of it, right? So that kind of plays out, so it works in the movie that you do have that music notes going on. So the way that they were able to tie that in was actually pretty good. Do you have anything on a dubbing or anything on this one?
No, because it was only Italian. Yeah. And I thought it seemed like the performances came across pretty well. I don't know who did the dubbing for what or who in this really, but I thought it came across pretty well. Whenever you watch them in Italian, it is a little different, right, compared to the English dub. It always is. But it's always a weird different viewing experience for me sometimes because I watch everything in English. So
yeah. But I'll be honest, sometimes it's hard to watch a subtitle movie because sometimes there's a lot of reading and sometimes you miss stuff by having to read so much. I never got that in this one. I was actually fine with this one. It never really threw me off. And the set we talked about where it was filmed, I thought was beautiful. The resort. And funny thing about that, when they were doing scouting for this and they were trying to find where they wanted to film, right? So Enzo's going to all these different places. And when he was finally introduced, they said, we're going to go to this one spot. And he was like, wow, this is it right here, right? This is awesome. That resort, that hotel never ended up opening. You know, that place ended up becoming a pizzeria.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? He mentions that in the interview, like, he goes back like a year or two later, and it's like it never opened for whatever reason. They say, yeah, become a pizzeria restaurant. And you're like, what? Like, this was a freaking setup, dude. It was beautiful inside. It was awesome. Yeah, for whatever reason, he does not know, but for whatever reason, it never came to pass. And he mentioned how that he lost contact with Barbara, and and you could see it in his voice that he really loved that woman, not in a, like a relationship, but as a friend, right?
Right.
And after Mark passed away, she really took that really hard. She had a child with him, and she never really came back from that. Now she's acting, she's still acting current. I think she had something as recent as 2024. So she's back, but they never connected back up to that interview. Like he was so, he's like, I don't even know where she's at. I hope she's still living. Like he had totally lost contact in her. But he said he was always just really loved that lady to death, dude. And he says she just, after the passing of him, just really never come back. But I'm looking, she was in The Devil's Disciples in 2024, Knife of Glass as a voice. So she's been doing some stuff. So that's awesome, man. She's still going, bro. Very attractive lady, though. She's got a very unique face. And they said at first they really made her up, like to look, just really beautiful, made her up. And then they were like, no. So it was like she had such a unique, just without makeup, she would be fine, right? So they kind of went a different route with her. But what else you got on this one, Ian?
So for Hall of Fame people
Mhm.
or All Stars, we've got Barbara Magnolfi. This makes her a All Star officially because she was in The Suspicious Death of a Minor. Now we're not done with her. There's one really big film that we have not covered on the show that she is in, a Dario Argento film.
Yeah.
Um, We've got Anna Zinnemann, who played Vanessa. She was in The Bloodstained Butterfly, The Big Racket, so that makes her a superstar.
Wow.
I think I remember her in The Big Racket in a small part. Bloodstained Butterfly I haven't seen in a while, so I have to keep an eye out for her in that one. Uh, then we go to Mark Perrell. This makes him a Hall of Famer, actually, because we've seen him in Big Guns, aka Tony Arizenta, The Psychic, and Don't Torture a Duckling. And we're not done with Mark Perrell yet, so he might end up being an all-time great.
Nice. Hey, let's bring it. Let's bring them in there. So overall, enjoyable. I do agree. I need to see this again. I want to watch this one again. There was another film that Enzo did that sort of the same thing ended up taking place in, where they got a hold of the film and inserted a lot of pornographic stuff, and he's so disappointed. I don't know which movie it was, but he mentions it in the interview that how upset he was that, this, he said he was really pleased with the movie, and then all of a sudden they put all this pornographic stuff in it, and he's like so upset. It's a shame when a director ends up having something took out of his hands, right? You film something the way you want it, and then somebody else comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to throw all this in there," and then you're like, "Ah, shit."
There was one scene where it actually somewhat surprised me.
Mm.
What happened was like the woman, I think it was Dagmar. She had like this big gold chain necklace thing, and then she starts doing something with that. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going here. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was actually pleased with that sequence though, because it made sense in the film.
Right.
He said that because earlier somebody had that chain and some things that happened. So he said that didn't bother him. And one of the sequences was the two women making out, right?
Yeah.
Some things with that, but he said the one with the chain was actually, he didn't mind that. He said that was actually shot the way he wanted it shot, and that did go. I'm with you, Ian. That was like, wow, are we really okay? We're not.
Yep.
This is going to be
Yep,
here.
we're going there.
It's going to take a few minutes. Like,
Yeah.
okay, wow. The wife of the hotel owner, Roberta, right? The wife, the ones that they ended up not, they were going to get a divorce and all this stuff. Her character, now her in real life, she didn't want to do nudity. They said that she was very bashful and really shy. And then the scene that they ended up getting her into was like, wow, you would have never thought that, but okay. But anyway, so that was something else. But overall, man, the Blu-ray looks great. I thought, Vinegar Syndrome done a really good job with the transfer on it for being the age of it. Because it's going to always kind of come out grainy, I think. I just don't think you can fully make these things super 4K-ish because of the film that they were using and the age of these films. But I thought they did a bang up job. I still want to listen to the commentary. What was the commentary on this one? Was Alexandria Nicholas. I did not get to listen to that, but I did watch once again the interview, which was 20-30 minutes long, which was a really good interview. But overall, you got anything else before we pass our ratings?
No, not that I can think of really.
No. All right. Well, where you come in for the Sister of Ursla?
6.
6, and I'm actually at a 7.5 as well on this one, man. I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I did. So 6 for Ian, 7.5 for me. This one goes in, and this actually concludes our Forgotten Gialli Volume 4 set. So I can officially put the disc in here, and we can call this one a wrap. We have officially closed this one out, Ian. So we've done the first 4 volumes, and this one had the Arabella Black Angel, The Killer Is Still Among Us, and Sister of Ursla. I give this sucker right here, Ian. This is an 8 all day long, this whole set, man. Love it. I thought it was a bang up of a set, man. I'm so glad we own that one. And we'll eventually get into 5, 6, 7, 8 on down the road. But with that said, Ian, what are we going to be covering on the next episode of Black Glove Mysteries?
So I'm very excited for this. We're going back to Sergio Leone to do A Fistful of Dynamite, aka Duck You Sucker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kino Labor release. I have not even cracked the seal yet, Ian. I have not cracked the seal. I cannot wait. Oh, dude, what am I in for? Like, seriously, what am I in for on this one?
You're in for something to me that's just as good as The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or for a few dollars more, Once Upon a Time in the West. I think it's just as good as those films. So some people might disagree, but
so we're going to be kind of Western without it being full Western, or are we going to be straight up Western?
it is a Western. It's part of a separate sort of subgenre of spaghetti westerns called Zapata westerns, which all took place in Mexico during like the Mexican Revolution era.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cracking the seal. I'm going to go ahead and crack my seal. Look, I'm actually opening mine. As you see it, listeners, I'm opening up my fistful of dynamite because I want to see what it looks like inside. Look at that, dude. Look at that. I love the slipcover case. No, this ain't Blue Underground. Look at that. Look at that.
Two commentaries on this. Okay.
All right. So,
Alex Cox and Sir Christopher Frayling. I'll probably end up watching one of them at least.
And 6 featurettes.
Yeah.
6. I don't know what's on these featurettes, but if you're into these style films, we're giving you plenty in advance. You got 2 weeks, right? See if you can buy it, man. You can probably pick it up. They had it on the sale recently. There'll probably be a Black Friday sale coming up. Who knows? But, man, if you can get it so you can watch along with Fistful of Dynamite. But we're not finished yet because we got some calls to get to.
Yeah.
Man, I'm super excited about this one. Now, we have said this before in the past, Ian, that we can't control what's said on voicemails. So, because we play them live and I've not pre-screened any of these. So there may be some spoilers that we haven't said. So if they are, we're apologizing, but that it is what it is, right? We're just going to roll with it. But first up here, Ian, as I pull up our voicemails, let's go to, we got 2 right here back to back from one caller. And I can't wait, and I do believe I know who this is. Let's go to this call and see what we got.
Black Glove Mysteries. Hey, Greg. Hey, Ian. Darren from Northern California calling.
Hey, Darren.
Today is October 21st. It's my birthday, so I thought I'd do something great for my birthday and call my absolute favorite podcast, LOTC.
Oh.
All right. So Black Glove Mysteries is talking Demons and Demons 2. Well, I will not be discussing Demons 2 because I have not seen that one yet. Wait, 3 weeks ago, my son and I, at our cult film series, did get to see Demons on the big screen at our cult film series. And for both of us, it was a first-time watch. I had never seen the film before.
Oh, wow.
And I got to tell you, I absolutely enjoyed it. Lamberto Bava is a fantastic director, I thought. The beginning of the movie, it kind of gave me a feeling of Argento Suspiria, the way it was shot and with the way the music was going. It just had that kind of feel to it. The acting in the movie wasn't that great, I didn't think, but still, it didn't take away from the practical effects and the story. I like the movie within the movie atmosphere that it had, and also the gore effects and just the whole 80s vibe of it and the soundtrack. It was just a lot of fun. So for a first time one.
Uh-oh. And, I guess he got cut off, so let's go to a second call here. And sometimes that happens with callers. Like sometimes they'll either lose a call or something, but we are thankful that it does look like he got to call back in. If I can get my voicemails to kick in here. Why, oh, why? I've got something pulled up, and I don't know why. And I can't get this off my screen. Oh, anywho, let's get to, there we go. We got that off. Sorry about that. As y'all are watching this, you're probably saying, Greg, you're live. Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm trying to hurry up and do this the right way. Okay, let's see here. And I think this is the next. Let's go to it.
Getting off the bench.
There we go.
Anyway, just wanted to conclude by saying, I thought the soundtrack was awesome. A lot of great bands from the 80s that I remember. And overall, I give the movie 7.5 out of 10. And with the possibility of going up, I think I will be buying this one. All right. I hope you guys have a great show. Talking Demons and Demons 2, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Nice. And all right, so let me clarify the reason Darren called in for Demons. This actually came in the day after we recorded for our last episode that we covered this one on. So that's why I went ahead and played it anyways, because we didn't get to play it for that one. So that's why it seems we're actually, an episode behind, but Darren did call in. It just happened to be the day after Ian, but great call there. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, and it made me want to go back and watch Demons again, honestly, just because you hear the enthusiasm for someone else seeing it. So
100%. And anytime anybody can see it for the first time, like, bro, like that movie is bonkers, man. And we talked about it. We were 10s on it. So you know how we feel about it. Go back. If you didn't hear that episode or see that episode, go back to our last one and you'll hear us talk about it. But all right, so let's go to the Walking Dead, Kyle Bishop. Let's see what he's got for us.
Hey, Greg and Ian.
What up, buddy?
It's Dr. Walking Dead, but I guess on Black Glove Mysteries, I'm just Kyle Bishop. Just Kyle, I'm on my way to meet up with Jay of the Dead, Jason Piles, because we're going to go see a movie together. But I wanted to call in for Black Glove Mysteries. Love the coverage, love the show. Wish I had more time to watch the movies you guys watch and talk about. But I really enjoyed the demon discussion for the Halloween one. But I got to say, at the beginning, they're like, we didn't know what to do for Halloween because, Italian films don't have much. Well, obviously we're talking about Halloween. But what about all the zombies? So I know I've recorded with both of you all on my show about Italian zombie movies, but that was like 2 years ago. So I'm just hoping that you guys will get into some of the Italian zombie stuff. And I don't know, are you going to get into Italian cannibal films?
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, we can do that.
So I'm just curious. I love all the stuff you do talk about, so I'm not being critical. No complaints from me. And then I just wanted to... I can't help but notice that at the end of every episode, Ian's the one who says, get your jolly on. Why don't you ever get your jolly on?
If you remember correctly, you were the one that said you wanted to hear Ian say that. Bishop. You, my friend. I was the one saying get your jolly on, but you said you wanted to hear Ian do it, and that's why we're doing that, my friend. I love it, though. Hey, I am totally down to doing some Italian zombie films in the future. And I'm 100% on board for doing some Italian cannibal films. Absolutely, brother.
We should do, I mean, we haven't actually done Fulci Zombie for our show yet. We could do that, but we also could do like Zombie 3 and 4. That would be fun.
Yep.
Burial Ground would be fun. We could, but as far as cannibal films go, we should just do a cannibal month where we do a bunch of cannibal films, honestly.
Yeah,
that would be, yeah.
We could get into that Severin release that they just had, that bundle. What was it? Slave of the Cannibal God, Eaten Alive, Last Cannibal World. I mean, hey,
yeah,
I'm all about that, dude.
Yep.
Kyle, you're talking my language, bro. I love me some cannibal films. You know we'll do some of them in the future. So let's go now to your father, Ian. Let's see what he's got for us here. I always like hearing his calls, man. So let's see what he's got for us to listen to tonight.
Hey guys, Luke Irza calling with some Mad Dog Killer. It's going to be a brief message this week. I had shoulder surgery and I'm kind of a little bit out of it, quite frankly, but I watched the movie Mad Dog Killer. And I guess a couple observations. The lead villain is quite a bit of a psycho, or a little bit crazy. That's one thing. And then it kind of reminded me of some almost like Clint Eastwood Western movies where you have like this, or even Dirty Harry for that matter, kind of, like you have this group of guys that break out of prison or whatever, but you got this one lead villain who, kind of just causes a bunch of chaos and terror in the community, and you know who they are the whole time, so there's no mystery about it. But, it's kind of hard to catch up with them and find them as they're committing, these crimes and stuff. So kind of like my observation is that it was a little bit like some Clint Eastwood movies in a way, like High Plains Drifter comes to mind, where that there are bad guys around, you can't quite catch up with them. And I did like the inspector, the lead policeman. I thought he did a good job, trying to catch these guys and stuff, and eventually does, obviously. But excuse me. So those are my observations. I really enjoyed the movie, and hope you guys have a good show. Thanks.
Nice. Always love hearing from you, Father. Man, Luke, hope you get feeling better, dude. Shoulder surgery is no joke, man. I don't ever want to experience that. So Ian, and he doesn't live near you, right?
No, he lives in Buffalo, so that's
Okay.
that's a good at least about 10 hours at least.
Wow.
I don't remember exactly how far, but yeah.
Well, I was going to say try to take care of him, but I guess it's hard to take care of him that far.
Yeah. I can totally see, the comparison between Helmut Berger's character in this and Jeffrey Lewis's character from High Plains Drifter is apt. It's kind of similar in a way, and how those characters escape from prison and what they do as they're making their way towards the town in that movie is a pretty valid comparison, actually.
Nice. All righty, well, let's get to our last call of the night here, and let's see what we got here.
Hey, Black Glove Mysteries. It's Chris Bartoli from Worcester, Mass here.
Yes.
Just wanted to say hi, Greg, Ian. Hope you guys are doing good. And Greg, congratulations for your Dodgers. Not bad, huh? You must be pretty psyched about that. So that's cool.
Go LA.
And yes, I just wanted to call on these Forgotten Jelly sets that Vinegar Syndrome's putting out. I've got two of them. I've got Volumes 3 and Volume 4. And Volume 4 is the movie you guys were doing, one of the movies, the Sister of Ursla. And I just actually rewatched it again today, because the last time I watched it was like August of last year. And I couldn't remember a lot about it. I remembered I liked it. But sometimes like when you see these movies like a while ago, when you watch a lot of different giallos, whatever, different movies, you kind of forget a lot. So I'm watching it, and I forgot how pretty raunchy it is. I mean, some of the sex scenes are like pretty much hardcore. The type of murders I thought was pretty crazy too. The way that the women anyways, get killed. That was pretty, even though it was all done off screen, a few times you would see like the end result, and it was pretty brutal,
Mm-hmm.
Man, I couldn't even really, when I was watching, I couldn't remember who the killer was, and I was very surprised. Like, it actually surprised me. One part I did remember was Filippo. I remembered his story as it was going. I'm like, okay, I remember that part, but for some reason I couldn't remember the killer. But I gotta say, I kind of liked it. It wasn't bad, man. I actually give this one, just based on my enjoyment, out of a 10, I gave it like an 8 out of 10, and
Nice.
just because I enjoy it.
Nice.
That's pretty much it. I like the set. Like I said, I've got those two, volumes 3 and 4. When they go on sale, I'll try to pick one up. They look nice, on the shelf and stuff. I kind of put them with the Giallo Essentials that Arrow Video puts out. They're pretty decent sets, man, I'll tell you. Yeah. But anyways, that's it, man. I just wanted to call. I think that's pretty much all I got. So wanted to call, say hi, and keep it up, man. All right, love you guys, and get your jelly on. Bye.
Nice.
I love it, Chris Bartoli, dude. That's awesome, bro. The Italian, the ones he's talking about is the Giallo Essentials, man, and I only have the red one of that. And I really do.
I think I have so many of the assorted films in those individually that I didn't pick up that many of them.
Right.
Yeah.
They had the red, the yellow, the white, the black, and I believe that kind of teal blue. So
Yeah,
there's 5 that I'm aware of. But like you said, you and I probably have more releases outside of the set that, it's kind of hard to justify just buying the set just for that. But Arrow Video done such a bang up job, and they have been having sales, Ian, that if you do want to pick up some of these guys and gals, they'll run a sale sometimes with only $30, and you're getting 3 movies in a set. That's $10 a movie. I'm just saying, bro. That's a dang good deal, man. So I would definitely jump on it. I may eventually jump. There's a few of them that I definitely want to get. The white one is one of the harder ones to pick up. I think that was the newer one, white or the black one. But anyway, so I may eventually get some more of those and put them on shelf, because I do agree the sets look cool up on the shelf as well as having the movies. But appreciate you calling in, Chris, and what a great call, dude. And I'm with you. Number 4 is a banger, bro. So with that said, Ian, Fistful of Dynamite next episode. Get your hands on that, man. I hope everybody can watch it with us so you can follow along.
It was on Tubi last I knew. I can look again to see if it's still on there.
Okay.
I can look again.
I want to say, while you're looking that up, I do want to say everyone that called in, man, appreciate it. 1-804-569-5682 is the call in, and we'll try to play your calls on here. And
yeah, it's still on there.
Okay, cool. So on Tubi. There you go. So you can check it out without having to buy it. I like physical media. I like collecting. I like to have that.
Yeah, same.
In my hand. Yeah, Ian's collection is growing by leaps and bounds, man. It's insane. So I love it. Of course, Ian, your collection's foreign. Like, you have Giallo, you got Eurocrime. You do have some newer and different things.
Yeah, I do.
But you do focus a lot on the Eurocrime and stuff, and I love that. So we're going to get off here. Once again, Fistful of Dynamite coming up. What do you got in closing, Ian? Any kind of plugs or anything you want to talk about? You were just recently on an episode.
Yes. So I was on the WTM Watch This Movie show for their Stranger Danger series, covering When a Stranger Calls, the 1978 When a Stranger Calls. So that was a lot of fun. And it was nice to join those guys again. Always awesome being on their show. And you can find me at Urzanomics on Blue Sky, Twitter, or X, and Instagram. You can add me on Facebook and Letterboxd if you type in my name.
Nice. There'll be links on landofthecreeps.blogspot.com. If you head over there, click the link to the episode, you go down below, you'll have the show notes. You can click those links. For me, Facebook, Instagram, and I'll save all the rest of it for the end of the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all that, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you got Mortis Vision with the Mortises coming up, and we had Stefan from Germany join us, and we talked Goosebumps. So that is on the end of that. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're like, oh, I'd like to, you won't be able to see it, but you can go listen to it at Land of the Creeps podcast. So anywhere on your podcast platforms, you can listen to that. So super excited. Stefan done such a great job. We had so much fun talking with him. So, yep, that's available to listen to. So with that said, we're going to get off here. And as we always like to say, and this is for you, Kyle, go ahead, Ian.
Get your jolly on.
Get your jolly on. There you go, Kyle. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace. Bye-bye.